Gurudev, everyone. How is it going? Amazing, right? Yeah. So, with Navaratri, there are so many stories associated. I was just figuring out what to tell and what not to tell. In fact, when I joined my first job, what happened? The joining was during Navaratri. So Navaratri was just starting on the day of Mahalaya Amavasya. That was the day of my joining. The joining date kept on postponing, and finally, the day when I got to know that I will join the company, it was on Mahalaya Amavasya. So after that, the Navaratri starts. So what happened? My teacher from West Bengal, she was telling me again and again, come what me, you should come and attend Navratri in ashram. Now, for the first 26 years of my life, me being a Bengali, I have attended only Durga Puja, and I knew that this is the epitome of festival. Nothing can beat that, right? All the Bengalis will agree with me. Those who have first attended Durga Puja for so many years, they don't think there is any match of that. So I was just questioning her that why are you telling that? I know what's the best festival. She just said, hey, don't worry, you just come. Okay, so she was really pushing me. So I thought, okay, when she was telling me so much, there has to be something good. Let me go and attend. So the first time, that was actually the first time I went to ashram as well. So it was the day of Shaptami, Mahashaptami, and when I reached ashram, the Mahasudarshana Homa was about to begin. So I had no idea, where is ashram, how to reach there. I just booked a cab. I was living in the southernmost point of Bangalore, in fact, outside Bangalore. I just booked a cab and I came to ashram. I didn't have any idea. I didn't have any art of living circle per se at that time. I was just 3 months, 4 months old in art of living, but I could see my teacher. That was a big relief. Okay, I'm not alone, because I never imagined there would be so much of crowd. So how many of you visited ashram once at least during Navaratri? No, there are lakhs of people, not in thousand, lakhs. I was kind of lost over there. But when I saw my teacher, Piali Didi, I was very relieved. Okay, I know someone here. And she said, just go and sit in Yagyashala. And when I went there, I saw Dinesh Bhaiya was explaining the science behind homas and chanting. Now, to be very honest, I was not very interested in pujas and homas. I was not of that type. I had some certain spiritual inclination, but not much with pujas and homas. So I always had a reservation. What these guys do? They pour everything in fire and some smoke comes out. What's the big deal about it? But the way Dinesh Bhai explained the science behind Homa, he spoke about that water has memory. I suggest all of you should see that video, Water Has Memory. And then he said that 70% of our body is made up with water. And when positive vibrations are sent to our body in the form of chanting, in the form of Homa, the body water crystals, they arrange themselves in a certain pattern which actually starts invoking positivity within us. This that explanation and everything was really mind blowing, and I just immediately fell in love with that. But the magic happened after that. So those who were in 2012 Navratri in ashram, that day Gurudev gave us an opportunity to do the Sudarshan Kriya live. Can you imagine? All of us have done Soham, Soham, most of us only in the tape, right? That day, just before Sudarshan Homa, we did the 3 stage of pranayam, we did our Vastrika, we chant Om 3 times, and after that, Gurudev was sitting in front of us and he was doing Soham. It was such a blissful experience. And after that, really felt special after that. And when I came out, I saw Dinesh Bhaiya standing over there. I met him when I did my course in Mumbai. So at that time, I had a chance to meet him. So he said, see, come what may, tomorrow you must come to ashram. Tomorrow is the day of Chandi Homa. Now again, my logical mind came in between. I thought anyway, I just saw a Homa. It's just going to be the same, right? The Homa experience was blissful. There is no denying of that fact. But then I saw everybody was pushing me so much that you must come for Chandi Homa, Chandi Homa. I was thinking, what's the big deal about it, So I I just joined the company, as I said, it was not even not even 10 days, and how many leaves can I take at that time? So next day I thought, okay, let me give it a break today. And then something really strange happened. So that was the time when my orientation was going on, and that day, for orientation purpose, I was supposed to go to a different manufacturing setup. I used to sit in a particular manufacturing setup. That day I was supposed to visit in a different plant. So I went there, and in my mind there was a hitch that so many people told me to come, but I didn't go. Okay, I don't know whether I'm missing something. These thoughts were constantly going on at the back of my mind. When I reached that manufacturing setup, that plant, I met the HR of that plant, and he asked me, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I was told by my HR from my company that I have to come, and I am supposed to get an orientation here today." And then suddenly he just lost it completely, and he started shouting on me that, "How dare you come here without informing me?" I said, "I thought you were already informed by your colleague. I have no clue. I have been given a schedule. I am just following that." And he just lost it. For 10 minutes, he was just shouting at the peak of his voice. I could see his face has turned red. And he was just telling, "Now see what I do to you. This is not acceptable. How can you do all this?" I was so nervous. That was I was just a couple of days old in my company, and I was thinking, man, what should I do now? I had no clue whom to ask. What should I do? I didn't even have any friends in the company so that I can ask for their suggestion. So all that I could do at the moment, I just closed my eyes. Till that time, my faith on Art of Living on Gurudev, I was very fond of Sudarshan Kriya. I used to do that religiously. But that connection and that faith was still not there, still not at that level. But what I did, I just closed my eyes and I said, okay, if there is any Gurudev and if there is really any power, please take me out of this situation. I have no clue what should I do now. You don't believe the person, he left me in a room. Okay, it was quite a big room and I was feeling even smaller there. It was a big conference room. I am sitting alone there. Somebody has just threatened me that I am almost going to fire you. I just surrendered to Gurudev that, Gurudev, whatever you want to do, you do. After 10 minutes, the person entered the room, the same HR person, and this time there was a complete change in his face. He was smiling ear to ear and he was talking to me in a tone of apology. And he said, "You know what? Our director would like to meet you." I said, "Now that's it." I'm going to get the termination letter from the director himself. Okay. And then I didn't have any courage to ask any question at that time. And then the director, the head of the plant, he entered the room and he said, "Ritam, did you have any trouble a few minutes ago?" I didn't answer because the HR was still standing there. I just didn't answer. He said, "No worries, come. I would take you for the plant visit." So can you imagine, just within a span of 10 minutes from that situation, when I was almost, at least I thought I am going to get fired, till in the next 10 minutes, the director of the plant was taking me for the factory tour, and I didn't figure out what happened, but I just knew that I just got saved. Okay, so then I felt even worse at my heart. I thought I should have listened to my teacher, Piali Didi. I should have gone to ashram today. I just listened to my small mind and I took this decision. So next day, I just told my HR that I am not going to come for the next 2 days. He said, "You haven't even finished your 15 days of orientation." I said, "I don't care. I am not going to come." So next day, again, I booked the cab and from Hosur, I reached ashram. And that was the day of Rishi Homa. So there are four major homas actually, which you just can't afford to miss. So in fact, five. So starting tomorrow, we will have the Ganesh Homa and the Navagraha Homa. Okay, and as Ankit said, right, any good thing, it starts with the Ganesh Puja. So tomorrow we are going to have the Ganesh Homa. On the day of Saptami, we are going to have the Sudarshan Homa. On the day of Ashtami, it's the pinnacle of all the homas, the Mahachandi Homa or the Shatchandi Homa. And on the day of Navami, it's the Rishi Homa. So I missed the Ashtami Homa. And I reached ashram again on the day of Navami, the Rishi Homa day. One more thing that was going on the back of my mind, my company gave me an accommodation for 1 week. I was staying in a hotel, but they were very clear that after 1 week, you are not going to get this accommodation, so you better find a place for yourself. So I was thinking, man, how do I find a place in Bangalore? I really didn't have any clue about Bangalore at that time. I spoke to a couple of people, and they were telling some rent which I could not afford at that time. So I was again that day. I told my teacher, "See, I'm not getting house. I don't know what to do." She just said, surrender to Gurudev. Now I was not understanding this phrase. What is surrender? I knew prayer. That's the concept my parents taught me. That's the concept my school taught me. But I had no concept about surrender. I thought, okay, let me see what happens. But I had that prayer inside me that please get me a home. Now the Rishi Homa started. The beautiful part of Rishi Homa is that at the start of Rishi Homa, Bhanu Didi will chant Guru Puja with all the Guru Puja Pandits there. So what Ankit chanted for us just now, that happens, and thousands of Guru Puja Pandits, they are chanting Guru Puja together. As I'm speaking, I'm getting goosebumps. You can imagine what happened to me at that time. इतना beautiful atmosphere होता है ना यज्ञशाला में, and they are invoking different rishis, and they are giving a scientific explanation to all that. So generally, our generation, why they feel averse from spirituality is that nobody told us why it is done. So first time I saw a platform where people are actually giving explanation. This is why it is done, and this is the effect. So it was a complete blissful moment, and during those days, in Yajñashala, if you remember the old Yajñashala construction, they used to have those showers on top of our head. You remember those who have attended Navaratri before in ashram. So once the Rishi Homa was over, all the water from those kalash for different rishis, that was actually put in those showers, and we were all getting drenched in that beautiful pure water, and everybody was singing, dancing. I have never seen such ecstasy in my life. For me, the biggest ecstasy was the Durga Puja Visarjan in my mohalla. I used to dance there, in the Dale Mehendi song, I used to dance there, and for me that was ecstasy. Till that moment, I never had a clue what ecstasy and what joy can be. It was such a blissful experience, and once this entire process was over, I came out. I was feeling so fresh, and that was the time I started feeling okay. I also belong here. I saw everybody's laughing, everybody's smiling. I couldn't see a single depressed face. Again, I saw my teacher. And I went and I told her that thanks for telling me, and actually you pushed me to come and attend these homas, and I feel so grateful. Otherwise, I would have missed this ecstasy. And then she said, it's just a start. Now we will get a darshan of Gurudev. So before that, I never met Gurudev. I have heard so much about Gurudev, stories from my friends, from my sister, from my teachers. I have heard so much about him, but I never met him. So we were standing in a darshan line just in front of Vishalakshi Mandap, and we were waiting. And it was like 10 minutes was over, 15 minutes was over, and I was getting restless, and I told my teacher, how long should I wait? And she said, just wait, okay? You are going to get darshan of an enlightened master. That itself is a big, a big fortune to have. So just be patient and wait. So yeah, I was patiently waiting. Yeah, I was poking her in between. You tell me this. What is Vishalakshi Mandap? What is the Yajñashala? What is that kitchen? Why are they giving us so much of food? I was irritating her to the core. But she was so sweet and so understanding. She was just answering to all my questions. And then I saw suddenly some helter-skelter started happening in the crowd. And I didn't have such experience. And I saw everybody is rushing towards a spot. So, when you are not in art of living, when you see such a scenario, the first thing that comes to your mind, there must be some accident. I was thinking the same thing. कुछ तो हुआ होगा उधर, सब एकदम दौड़ के जा रहे थे. And then I suddenly saw, the picture that I had of Gurudev in my mind, that he would be a tall person, long robes and all that. But I saw a much shorter person, and he was walking. I felt he was floating. I didn't feel he was walking. He was just floating. His steps were so synchronized. His veshti, his uttariya, that was floating in air, as if he was just floating, and he had that rose in his hand, and he was dabbing on everybody's head. Everybody was coming and meeting him. So my teacher told me that, see, when he comes, you should not jump, you should not try, you should not even try to pounce on him. I was thinking, why is he telling that? Why should I jump? Or why on earth should I pounce on him? But as he started coming nearer, I could see there is a surge, there's a big surge of energy, and I didn't have any explanation, and I just wanted to do the same thing what others were doing. But somehow she just kept she just hold my hand, and she said, "No, Ritam, you are not going to jump." So I just stood still, and he walked close to us. In When he came in front of me, for me, time and space was not existing at that time. I really cannot explain that feeling. I was not really registering time at that time. I was completely vacant from inside, and he just looked at me and paused for a moment, and my hand just went up. I don't know what happened, and he had that rose with which he was tapping on everybody's head. He kept that rose on my hand, and then he just smiled. He just winked and smiled at me, and then he went away. And at that moment, I couldn't keep on standing. I just fell on the ground. The surge of energy I was experiencing at that time was the same that I experienced after my first Sudarshan Kriya. No, I was not. I felt difficulty in breathing for some time, and so my teacher was doing Om Namah Shivaya on my head, and Dinesh Bhaiya saw me. He came to me and he said, "What happened? Did you get Gurudev's darshan?" I said, "Yes," and he said, "Yeah, no worries. This is normal phenomenon." And then he just went away. So I thought, okay, this is normal. This is not abnormal, and it was really blissful. And after that, that day I saw the satsang. First time I had an idea of Art of Living satsang. How blissful! Everybody was dancing, laughing. It was such a celebration atmosphere. Everybody was happy, and when all these things were going on, I didn't have the thought of what happened to my house. Will I get a house? As I was coming back from ashram that day, I suddenly got a call from a person whom I contacted earlier. He kept a rent. He kept rent, which was way beyond my affordability. He suddenly called and said me, uh, तुम्हें कितने में चाहिए? मैंने बोला मैं तो इतना ही दे सकता हूँ. He said, okay, you come and get shifted in next one day. I am going to vacate tomorrow. I was like, wow. I had absolutely no clue that this is going to happen. But I was, messaging some of my friends that, yaar, mere liye kuch ghar dhoond ke de. I don't know where to stay. And I really got a beautiful place. So I know many of you have visited my place in Anantnagar. So they knew I had a pretty decent place for a bachelor. Quite a good place. So yeah, that was absolutely brilliant, and I see I can keep on going. Okay, there are so many blissful stories to tell. I will tell you one more, but after some songs. Okay, so over to you, Ankit. Can someone spotlight Ankit? Okay, I think Ankit is having some connection issue. Okay, no problem. Then I will share one more story before Ankit's connection gets sorted out. Now, see, every Navaratri, as I said, it's very special, and every time something or the other kept on happening. Now, yeah, now this is in 2014 or 2015 Navaratri. Okay, so our teachers always tell, right, that during Navaratri, do your sadhana properly, do your seva properly, and Generally, I listen to my teachers. So one thing that, as a part of doing seva, one thing that I always did is that I always invited people from my native. I am from a relatively small place in West Bengal, and we also have a very nice, sweet art of living family over there. So I have many uncles and aunties who are very big devotees, and they every time used to ask me, how is it in Bangalore? You stay so close to Gurudev. How does it happen there? So I used to tell them, why don't you guys come during Navratri? So they used to say, yaar, Navratri mein ashram mein to rehne ka jagah milta nahi hai. It's very crowded. Unless and until you are doing an advanced course in ashram, it's difficult to get a accommodation during Navratri. So that year I told them, see, you don't worry, you just come and stay at my place. So I think from 2014 onwards, many people from my native, they came and stayed at my place, and it used to give me a lot of satisfaction that I am serving in some way or the other. Even my teachers, they came and stayed at my place. So that year I remember, one of my uncle, one auntie, another auntie, and her daughter. So four members, they came all together in my place. So it used to be a great time, though they were cooking, and I used to miss the Bengali food there. The cook I had, she was from South India, so she used to cook very well for me, but I was still missing the Bengalis are fond of their aloo postos and mushur dal. I used to miss those things so dearly. So when those uncle and aunties came, I was so happy. I knew for the next 5 days I don't need to worry about food. I'm going to get really good food. So that was happening, and every day we used to. I took a week-long leave, just like this time. From tomorrow, my leave starts. So we used to go to ashram together in the morning, and we used to attend the homas, right? And evening we used to come back. So that was happening on the day of Panchami, on the day of Shashti. That happened, and it was all fine. We didn't have any issue. The transportation, either we were going in cab. So in those days in Bangalore, we used to have Meru cabs. If you remember, Meru is no more, I think, existing. Those days we had Meru cabs, or we were taking some buses and we were going to ashram. So on the day of Chandi Homa, that is Ashtami, the Homa was over in the morning. Then on the day of Chandi Homa, as we are speaking on Ashtami, in ashram they prepared 21 different food items. That is the day of extreme party. And you are really okay. We have Ankit back with us. So Ankit, I'm just finishing one story as you were vanished for a moment, and then we'll come back to you. So and so many people come, people from all across the world, people, from foreign countries, they actually save throughout the year so that they can come to ashram during Navratri. We will talk a little bit more about that afterwards. Let me come back to the story. Now, after everything was over, it was time for us to go back to our home. Because as I said, during Navratri, it's very difficult to find a stay in ashram unless and until you are doing an advanced course. So I first tried to get a Meru cab, and I failed. After several attempts, I was not getting any Meru. So I thought, okay, Meru to milega nahi. Let's try for bus. Then I started searching for bus, and there was absolutely not a single bus which was going towards the part of the city where I used to live in. I used to live in Electronic City. So now it was quite late in night. It was almost like 10:30 or quarter to 11, something like that. And I was thinking, we had three ladies with us, and I took my bike to ashram, so I could carry uncle with me. But I was thinking what to do with the two aunties and one sister. And I was asking the autos. They said no, or they almost asked for a fortune. They almost asked for my kidney. This much they were asking. So I said no, I can't afford that. And it was 11 by that time. We were almost searching for 1 hour, and we were getting nothing. So I was literally clueless. And this is the time when I thought, okay, now everything has failed. मैंने जितना करना था मैंने तो कर लिया, but all the thing that I can do now is that I now have to pray and get something, otherwise there is no other way. So I just closed my eyes and prayed to Gurudev that Gurudev, please take care of the situation. I have to take them home back safely. And I just surrendered to him that I have tried all that I could do, but it's not happening. You take care of it. And it was, as I said, it was almost 11 at the night. And within 10 minutes, suddenly I was standing just right next to ashram gate. And there were so many other people standing, at least another 200, 300 people standing just in front of the ashram gate. Suddenly I saw a very nice car came, and it just stopped right in front of me. And he asked me, where do you want to go? And I saw the gentleman who was driving the car. Along with him, there was his wife and the kids were there. I said, I will go to Electronic City. I want to go to Electronic City. And he said, okay, you come along with us. I said, where are you guys going? They said, we are going to Yashwantpur. Now, those who know Bangalore, they know if southernmost point of Bangalore is Electronic City, the northernmost point of Electronic City is Yashwantpur. I felt so bad. I said, no, no, you guys carry on. You have to go to Yashwantpur. I will manage something. They said, no, no, we insist. You come along with us. And they were really insisting. And how can you say no to love for a long time? So I said, okay, fine. So I asked those aunties and the sisters that, okay, you guys get inside, and we started the journey. So I was just following them in my bike along with my uncle, and we had a very safe journey. They dropped us right in front of our house. And when this happened, I was literally flooded in gratitude. I could not utter a word. In fact, I just said thank you. Actually, I should have asked for his number. I should have done something, but nothing was working in my head at that time logically. I was thinking they dropped me in Electronic City, ashram to like the place where I used to live in. It was almost 35 kilometers, and now they have to go to Yashwantpur, which I think is another 35 kilometers. It's going to be a big journey for them. But they were so gracious; they dropped us, and I was literally clueless. I didn't know how that happened, because there were so many other people. They were standing in front of ashram gate, but their car came and stood right in front of me. And if they could have selected anybody else. They had 200 options. Think about the probability, 1 by 200. 0.05, so less. But it happened so brilliantly, and you won't believe, I used to go to ashram weekly at that time. Every Saturday, Sunday I used to go to ashram, at times even on Wednesdays. I wanted to meet him, and I wanted to thank him from the bottom of my heart. I never saw him again in ashram. That was only the first time and last time I saw him in ashram, and that's it. So I never could actually thank him. I still don't know who he was. I still don't know where he lives. So yeah, I could never thank him. So yeah, I think I would just pause here. Now Ankit is back.